What's up, everyone? We're back at it. And guess what? I lost 5 pounds. Not doing great on the diet, but hey, we're not here to talk about that. Today, we're going to be talking about new and improved knife roll that I've been carrying around. And my new knives included. Haven't got a ton of new knives, but in saying that, this thing is geared towards something completely different, and we're going to be getting into that today. I'm really excited to show y'all, and remember, go check out W Energy, use code BUNNYANDCLAVA at checkout. Alright guys, so for my new knife roll, I ended up going with the Asaya Chef knife roll. I believe it's a 12-pocket knife roll with accessory pouch made out of heavy-duty wax canvas. This thing is very nimble, very durable, and it has been a workhorse for me. I love this thing. I've been carrying it with me to work every single day since I got it. And man, I can't say enough good things about this. But yeah, if you're looking for a good chef roll, I would definitely recommend Asaya. Not sponsored by them or anything, just a really good product. Alright, now let's get into this. Let's go ahead and open it up. And let's get the roll rolled out. Alright, now I'm sure y'all want to start here, but we're going to start here. On this, I'm not going to talk about that just yet. Alright, so accessories. What do I recommend to carry for accessories? Well, there's a few things depending on your job. Number one, always going to need a Sharpie. Sharpie is going to be a key. Number two, depending on what you're doing, probably going to need a pen. I sign off on a lot of the vegetable orders that we get, so having a pen, very useful for me, or when I'm writing down a prep list or a to-do list, having a good gel pen like this is one of my favorite things. Thirdly, of course, is going to be a thermometer. I really recommend Cooper thermometers. These things do not go out. They take a very common watch battery. After a while, they do kind of go worn out, so I threw blue tape on mine to just hold it in. But these things do not need to get recalibrated at any point. They stay in calibration, and they're a very durable thermometer. Like, this thing has been through, I forgot multiple times in my pants or on my chef coat, and it's been through the washer and dryer like 2 or 3 times, and it just keeps going. Thirdly, honing rod. This is a honing rod made by Noble Chef. It has a 1000 rough grit and 2000 fine grit on it, so you're able to do rough and fine and get your knives back into shape and ready to go. Alright, so this is where it gets kind of as you need on what you do for a job. But I really prefer to carry around a pair of shears. If you're cutting twine, if you're cutting paper or anything like parchment paper, especially if you're a baker, having a pair of shears is essential. And I really recommend having a pair that comes apart, so that way it's easy to clean. But another thing I like to do is when I'm writing down like labels to put on top of product, I'll actually take one pair like this. I'll do a long strip of blue tape, write down as many as I need. Then as I'm peeling the blue tape, I'll just take it and put it against that edge and just rip it up, and then I got all my labels that I need. Alright, and again, depending on what you do, sometimes we do salmon, so I carry around some tweezers. These are precision tweezers. Some of these are pointy, but the ones I like to use are these kind of flat tip ones. Great for if you see, of course, like a little piece of bone or spine, piece of salmon, just grab it, pull out, work great. Also, too, if you get splinters or anything, having some other fine tip tweezers might be a really good idea to have. Another thing, strop. A very small and very easy strop. I do need to put more compound because this thing is used quite a bit. But yeah, having a good strop with some good compound on there, great things to have behind besides your honing rod to get that extra razor sharp edge on your knife. And of course, come here, the compound that you need to go with the strop. And this, if you've seen my how to change a Japanese knife handle video, this is the little present that I got from Prisma Knives. I like to keep it with me as a little good luck charm. All right. Oops. We're not going to touch this yet, but we are going to unleash the roll. Now, a lot of people like to use knife guards or sayas to protect their knives. I've honestly just been using paper. I don't know how to feel about it myself. I don't know how other people feel about it. But I figured I just need something to protect me from the edge, protect themselves from each other, and it doesn't damage the edge on them or anything. So in my mind, this is a pretty good way to have like a cheap edge protection system. But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. All right, so we're gonna work our way across. First off, the one that was featured in my How to Change a Japanese Knife Handle is going to be the Pei. It's a 5-inch Pei Prisma knife handle. The paper I use is a Japanese rice paper, and I honestly just use the back of it and tape it up like that. But yeah, this Pei, amazing, love it. I use it not every single day, but probably every other day. Second, and this is a knife that I feel a lot of people should know more about, depending on how much prep that you do at home or in the kitchen, is going to be a Nakiri. Prisma knife handle is also working on a new handle for this knife as well to get it back up to par. But having a good Nakiri, as you can see, it has a lot of patina, a lot of heavy use done with it. This thing is an absolute beast. It goes through everything. I've done, of course, fine work with garlic, tomatoes, and all that, all the way up to sweet potato roots. This thing just flies through everything I use. Next up, Santoku. This is not done by Prisma Knife Handles. I actually don't remember who did this knife handle way back in the day, but great Santoku. This, the Pei and the Nakiri were all done by Tojiro. This is their Shirogami number 2 line. Great knives. These knives have lasted me almost 10 years at this point, and they just keep going. These are amazing knives. Okay, next up, these are knives that I've never shown before on the channel. This right here is a great knife. This is a Mizukage Bunka, 165 millimeters. And if you ever need to do fine tip work, it also has a, see if I can get this on camera, it has a fair amount of belly to it as well. Come on. It has a fair amount of belly to it, so you can get pretty high up and do rock chops with it if that's your thing. It also has this nice flat saw down here, so when you're just doing a nice slicing chop, great knife. This thing has seen, I don't know if, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but there is already some patina. It's been through not a lot by my standards, but a pretty fair amount for maybe only like a week or two of having this knife. Next up, an absolute, absolute favorite knife that I've gotten so far. This is the Okada Gyuto, 210 millimeters. This is made by a third generation blacksmith that's named Misonobu Okada. He traditionally makes a lot of landscaping tools such as shears or it's called hitch clippers, scythes, and he's been working on knives for the past 15 years. And his mastership shows. I don't know if it shows up on camera really well, but as you can see, that's a 4mm thick spine that tapers all the way down to about 0.5 millimeter. See if I can get that on camera, just how. Let's see here. That has such a fine edge of such a thick spine. This thing flies through everything. Now this knife is relatively heavy, but the balance point on it is right here. Right behind the kanji. Oops, let me lower my thumb. Right here. Right below the kanji. So when I grip it, it's balanced perfectly in my hand. This thing is by far my favorite knife that I've purchased so far. I cannot say enough great things. Okada-san is a master at his craft, and it reflects in his work. Next up is probably another workhorse knife, even though I'm not a big fan, as some people might be able to tell by the handle and I already know what this is. This is a Shun. This is a Shun serrated knife. Single beveled. These are mass-produced knives. The handle on it, the only thing I can gripe about is just the fact that the handle is made for a child. But other than that, this thing is amazing. It's sliced through roast beef, tons and tons and tons and tons of bread because I make a lot of sandwiches at my job, diced tomatoes. I mean, yeah, this thing is just great. I do recommend this. They do have an offset serrated version. I've been wanting to buy that one, but ended up picking up this one. And I mean, the only thing I don't like is the handle, but other than that, it's still a very, very comfy grip on this thing. Can do a lot of fine work with this. And I mean, for the price, it's not bad. Next up is going to be kind of a surprise. This is a Deba. Normally meant for butchering fish, but I've done a few chickens with it. And I mean, it's a great Deba. But who's this made by? Well, it's made by Mercer. This is a $30 Deba. And this thing is crazy for the price. It's amazing for the price, in fact. Like, honestly, I would think this would be like a $120 Deba until you show me that it was made by Mercer. This thing has done, I want to say, probably a dozen chickens, about 5 to 6 salmons, and it's still just razor sharp. Like, it's the only knives I have that are sharper than this. These are these two and probably this knife, but we're gonna get into that. But yeah, great knife for the price. My only problem that I've had with it so far is the ferrule came loose, but that's an easy fix. I do plan around to get to fixing it here pretty soon. But yeah, great knife, great knife for the price. One of the only things that were liked by Mercer that they've ever made is this Deba right here. Finally, the knife that I like to show off a lot at work. Because people always see this and they ask me, what is this? Well, just like the Deba, and I do a fair amount of salmon sometimes whenever it comes up to me. This is a Nigiba. It's a single beveled, long bladed knife. Not only meant for doing sushi, but normally what I do is I'll remove the spine, not the spine, I'll remove the head of salmon. I'll go on the spine with my Deba. I'll remove the fillets from the salmon. And then from there, I take my Yunagaba. I'll take the skin off the salmon and I'll cut into portions with it. Nice, clean, thorough cuts, very easy to take off the skin of salmon. This thing is great. This is also made by Tojiro. Now, if you're a keen viewer, one thing that you might have noticed so far is I use a fair amount of carbon steel knives. In fact, these 5 right here are carbon steel knives. These are Shirogami number 2. This is Irogami Blue Steel number 2 and Shirogami number 2. Very reactive metals. Now, I personally like using carbon steel over stainless steel. These 3 knives are stainless steel. I personally like them more because the knife changes with you over time. This Santoku and these 2 actually have the same finish. Well, these 3 as well. This is a Kuroyuchi finish, which is a blacksmith finish. The finish on this knife is the same black color as it left from the forge with. The only thing that some people don't like about Kuroyuchi finish is it will eventually go away once you use your knife a lot. If you look at the very back right here, you can see what tiny bit remains of the Kuroyuchi finish that used to be on the Santoku. It used to come all the way down here, fall on here, and let me see if I can get on camera. You can see right here, this is the shinogi line that separates the, what is this called? Hiragani line, I believe they call this, because there's 3 separate parts to this. I can't remember the names off the top of my head right now, but yeah, this used to also have a Kuroyuchi finish. But after years and years of cutting, usage, wiping, that Kuroyuchi finish will eventually go away. If you force a patina on your knife, which some people like to do, you will lose the Kuroyuchi finish on there. And that's just the name of the game. These knives will change over time. 5 years from now, these 2 knives will look nothing like they do right now. They're going to gain a unique patina to them that will only be on this knife. The patina on this knife will not match the patina on this knife or on this knife. And you can tell a lot by looking at somebody's patina pattern. For instance, you can tell from my Santoku that I've used this half of the knife a ton, because I do a lot of very fine work with it. But then when you look back here to the heel, you can see right there to here, it's all right there. So I do a lot of slicing, but then up here, I'm probably doing a lot of chopping. If you look at my Nakiri, and you see these long streaks of patina going in lines like that, that's very characteristic of vegetables. Vegetables and other fruits will leave these long streaky patina lines. And you can see where, like right here, for example, you can tell right there that there's been like food goes up that high, then I wipe off my blade because I don't like it going over. Honestly, I don't even remember where this piece of patina came from, but you can tell that there was some liquid on it at some point that left that mark. And again, way back here, you can see what tiny amount of Kuroyuchi finish is left over from years and years of usage. So yeah, that's why I like carbon steel knives. They tell a story. They tell who you are as a chef. If this knife looks the exact same 5 years from now, that means I haven't used this knife a lot. And not only that, but there's a lot of other nerdy things. They get a better edge than stainless steel knives. They are technically a harder rock weld than stainless steel knives, although that can be debated nowadays. And I just cannot say enough good things about carbon steel knives that are made from Shirogami or Aogami steels. Stainless steel knives are one of those things where it kind of depends on the steel. Like, I guarantee you, Tojiro used a lot nicer stainless steel than Mercer did. But in saying that, Shun might use a better stainless steel than Tojiro. I honestly don't know because I'm not a stainless steel nerd. Stainless steel, there's so different amounts of varieties to it because there's different types of vanadium, chromium, titanium that they infuse into it. Shirogami is also called white paper number 2 steel. It's different from Aogami, as in it just has a little bit more vanadium to it. Aogami has more vanadium than Shirogami. So this is a little bit less reactive compared to this knife. But saying that, this knife has a lot more quote-unquote pure steel because there's not anything else mixed into it besides carbon and iron to make steel. So Shirogami pure steel, Aogami is going to have more vanadium to it, making it less reactive and quote-unquote last longer, but giant air quotes around last longer. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward with that. There's some other carbon steel varieties out there, but I don't have any examples with me. But as is, this is how my knife roll sits. I do plan to add a few more pieces into it. Like, I'm planning to add a Honeski in here because I do a lot of chickens. I don't want to be using my Deba for a lot of chickens. I do want to add a Hankotsu, which is meant for doing large amounts of butchery for like hanging meats. Like if you have a pig hanging up, it's good for carving. If you have a piece of giant beef hanging up, and if you need to do a lot of carving of that, great for that. It can also be used as a general boning knife as well, depending on what you're doing. And I also want to add a Tsujihiki as well for doing very fine cuts. For doing very fine cuts on cooked meat. And also just as another showpiece besides my Inagawa here. But yeah, other than that, this is what I truly recommend to carry with you. You don't need, now this is just me. I like having a Santoku or a Bunka, but in saying that, if you have either or, then you don't need the other. If you have a Bunka, you don't need a Santoku. If you have a Santoku, you don't need a Bunka. And that's, up to personal preference. But you do need a petty, you do need a Santoku or a Bunka. If you don't like either or of these knife shapes, then you do need a Gyuto and a bread knife. Other than that, everything else is up to what you do at your job. Since I do salmon, I'm going to need these two. Since I do a lot of bread, I'm going to need a bread knife. Since I do a lot of very fine knife work, I'm going to need my petty with me. Since I do a ton, and I mean a ton of vegetable prep salads and garnishes, having a kiri is great just for flying through all that. And depending on how I feel, I choose between either my Santoku or my Bunka as my main knife. But if I'm doing a lot of herbs, and if I'm doing a lot of, also just a lot of very quick prep for the day, then pulling out my workhorse Gyuto just simplifies everything. Because this thing has a great rock to it. I'm able to mince very quickly, and I mean very quickly with this knife. I'm able to do fine knife work with it. This thing can do everything all these all these 4 knives can do. But again, it's up to personal preference. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for nerding out with me on my knife roll. Please like and share the video. Leave comments on if I'm wrong, or if you think I don't need this many knives, or if I'm just carrying way too much with me, or if you have any suggestions for different brands. Let's open up a conversation on whether or not using paper as a blade guard is even a real concept, or if I'm just stupid. I'm open to anything, guys. So let's just talk about it down in the comments. Alright, thank you for watching. This has been Blanclava. Go check out W Energy. Use code Blanclava at checkout. That would mean the absolute world to me. Please like, comment, and share. Have a good day, y'all.